Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Lisa Stroda. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Holistic Life Coach Podcast, where you'll get some motivation, inspiration, and value from movers, shakers, world changers, and unabashed dreamers. If you'd like to share your story, contact me through the show's website, theholisticlifecoachpodcast.com, and we'll see if you're a good fit. Hey, beautiful souls. Thanks for joining me for a mini pod of the Holistic Life Coach Podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Stroda, and I thought I'd hop on here today for this mini pod because, I wanted to ask you about your New Year's resolutions. Have you made them? A couple of them. And it was really funny. I got this supplement in the mail, and it's from one of the well-known, wholesome, natural food grocers. And it made me laugh because it says, next week is Resolution Reset Week. So they've given up. They've given up on everyone already. So only 3 weeks into the year, and they've already said, you guys need to reset. You need to reset already. It reminds me of a story. Years ago, I was on the phone with a friend. Do you remember when we had those flip phones? So I called her, and she was on her way to the health club. And as we're talking, she's getting really frustrated. And I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "I can't find a parking spot." What the hell? What's going on? "I'm on my way to the gym, and I can't find a parking spot." And now this was like the third week of January, maybe a month in, maybe not even, right? So she says, "There are so many people. I can't find a parking space." I said, "Well, I'm like, well, oh well, what are you gonna do?" Right? She says, "I'm just so frustrated because these people, they're not gonna be here in March. Why don't they just forget about it? Why don't they just quit now? Because they're gonna quit in March. In March, there'll be plenty of parking because everybody falls off and doesn't stick with it." And so, I was thinking, what? I think she, at that point, I wasn't going to the health club because I had 2 little kids, and I was running around after them. But you know what? She's right. Because I've seen going to the health club that there aren't, it does drop off, after a few months. So why is that? Why aren't we sticking with our New Year's resolution? Well, here's the thing. Sometimes, we make these New Year's resolutions, we make a list of resolutions, and it can get overwhelming. It can, you don't know where to start, or you start on each one, a little bit on each one, and then trying to finish all of them can be overwhelming. And so what I suggest is that, you take your list and you pick out the most important one. Now, deciding which is the most important one, can be as easy as, the doctor saying, you have to change your diet because if you don't, you're really going to get sick. This is really going to affect your health. And if you want to be around longer, then you need to change it immediately. Okay. Or it might be something that you want to work on. Say you want to get more sleep, and you are trying to figure out a way, to get more sleep. It's important, but it's not as detrimental as, say, changing your diet. So what I suggest is you look at the importance of the goals on your list, and you pick one, just one, and you break it up. So you start with your SMART. You can make it into a SMART goal. You can make it specific and small and measurable, and say cardio. You want to do an extra 30 minutes of cardio a day, or so you can't. You're like, you know what? I fall off after 20 minutes. I can never do a half hour. And so instead of doing 20 minutes and then being tired and, getting off the treadmill and thinking, of course, didn't complete my goal. I suck at this. Just break it up into, 15 minutes. 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night, 15 minutes at the beginning of your workout, 15 minutes at the end, or 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at lunch, and 10 minutes in the evening. And, go out for a walk at lunchtime or in the evening. It doesn't have to be, when I say you have to do when you have to do cardio, you don't have to do it on a treadmill. You do it, make it enjoyable. Go for a walk with a friend. Now, here in the Midwest, it's freezing. So yeah. So I mean, make it as enjoyable as you can. Put on a good podcast or music and rock out in your house and dance a little while you're doing housework or something. But there's other ways of doing it. Say like you want to get more sleep. You want to go to bed earlier. Like, Lise, I should really go to bed an hour earlier. And it's hard to adjust like that. Each night, or even if you just do it by a week, say, for this week, I'm going to go to sleep 15 minutes earlier than I usually do. And then the next week, another 15 minutes. So that's a half an hour than you originally do. And, till you get to the point, to your goal, to when the time that you would really like to go to sleep. So just pick one goal and focus on it. Thanks for listening to the Holistic Life Coach Podcast. Show notes can be found at theholisticlifecoachpodcast.com. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast to be notified when the next episode drops. Until next time, beautiful souls.